A 34-point beatdown at the Philadelphia 76ers featured Wardell Stephen Curry II having a record-setting night. Both what Steph did, which we're about to get right into, and how the Warriors performed as a team is something that should be savored, given we don't know both how much longer Curry's going to be playing for, and also how many more wins the Warriors will have like this, or in general, with how rough it's been for them lately. Nevertheless, all 13 players suited up for Steve Kerr, as Kuminga, Moody, and Waters combined for 42 off the bench, while the starting five outside of Steph saw Draymond, Wiggins, and Schröder each chip in 15, and mesh for 17 of the Warriors' season-high 41 assists. The Dubs also scored a season second most 139 points. Miraculously, all with a sprained thumb, the greatest shooter the game of basketball has ever seen made the most consecutive threes in a game of his career, as Stephen went a perfect 8 for 8 from beyond the arc. Curry dropped a game-high 30 points, a game-high 10 assists, and was a game-high plus 32. Curry was 1-3 away from tying Anthony Simons' NBA record for the most consecutive threes without a miss in a game, as Simons went 9 for 9 from distance a couple years back. How Curry battled through an injury to his shooting hand while having one of his greatest performances just adds to the Stephen legend. Additionally, displaying how Steph's defying father time at an all-time great rate, Curry's now passed Michael Jordan for the most 30-plus point games by a guard after turning age 35. Showcasing how much value Steph's had to the Warriors this season, Golden State has a plus 7.3 net rating with Curry on the floor, which would be good enough for 6th best in the NBA, just trailing the Memphis Grizzlies, yet a minus 5.7 net rating with Curry off the floor, which would be 25th in the association, just trailing the Brooklyn Nets. Curry's three-point percentage on the season after hitting 8 threes went from 40% to 42%, and even with his sprained thumb, he was feeling good all night, like when he was high-stepping even before this shot went down from Andrew Wiggins. This bit of banter with Steve Kerr also displayed how Stephen was feeling amidst Kerr's infamous substitutions.
Hey, it's the first time you ever agreed to come out when you were red hot.
Well,
never seen it.
I didn't want to push my luck because I'd already got an extra possession.
Yeah, that's true. And you banked in the last one.
The relationship between Curry and Kerr is great to see, especially with all the turmoil we see year in, year out between superstars and head coaches. Stephen remaining loyal to Steve is a primary reason for Kerr being trusted by management, and that's something that should increase the respectability people have for Curry. That said, Kerr knows the type of player he's coaching to the fullest extent, and while he can get overly cautious, it's always in his soon-to-be 37-year-old's best interest. Here was Kerr post-game on Steph, as well as Dennis Schröder, who, as I mentioned in the intro, had 15 in this one.
Steph passed Michael Jordan for the most 30-point games after 35-year-olds among guards. What makes it so tough to perform like this at this stage of a career as a guard?
Well, I think maybe Steph's most underrated quality is just his endurance and his incredible fitness level. He's worked so hard over the years. You look at pictures of him from his first few years in the league, and he doesn't even look like the same guy. He's just built up his body, but also worked on his skill throughout. Those years where he's learning how to play through fatigue. Not just about getting stronger and building more endurance, but maintaining and improving a skill level throughout with people draped all over him. Pretty incredible. So that was a great stat. There was a lot going on there, but if you have any others, let me know.
Steph is the first player to go 8 for 8 or better on threes and record 10 assists in NBA history. You've seen him do.
How do you guys know this off the top of your head? It's really impressive.
I have ESPN stats in there.
Oh, you have a phone.
Yeah, but this is the most he's made gone perfect 8 from 3. So you've seen him do a lot of incredible things. What was it like watching him tonight?
It was just fun. I love the bank. It was, I think that was his 6th one, if I'm not mistaken, and he deserves these nights. I mean, everything he does for us and endures. It's so fun to see him do this, and our fans and our coaches, we're all spoiled, watching him play night after night. But we need to cherish these nights. He's not going to be around forever, and he is one of the most beautiful basketball players who's ever lived, and we're lucky to be watching him.
Dennis, you talked about playing with a lot of Hall of Famers recently. What's it like being on this side of Steph hitting 8 for 8 threes?
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I used to be pissed when he hit a three, playing against him, and just greatness, I mean, I seen a lot of people, but him, how he works every single day, how fast he going through his reps. It's just incredible to see. He's 36, about to turn 37. I mean, I seen Braun when he was 38, 39. I mean, those are, the best players ever. And to play with them, to share the court with them, I never take it for granted. And I always try to learn. And even though I'm 31, I still try to learn and, pick his thoughts. And then Draymond Green, another Hall of Famer. A-Wigs, everybody who I'm playing with, just try to get better every single day. But especially those two, to see them every single day, it's inspiring, but it's great to see. And it's great to have him on my side now.
After shooting an abysmal 4 for 15 against the Cavaliers, Jonothan Kuminga bounced back and continued what's overall been a very solid stretch for him. Kuminga had 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, and more importantly was extremely efficient. JK shot 8 for 11 from the field, 2 for 3 from distance, and 2 for 3 from the foul line. Post-game, Kerr gave his take on Kuminga.
I haven't mentioned JK. I think this was his 5th straight great game. Even last game when he didn't shoot well, I loved his rebounding, I loved his effort. I just think Jonathan is continuing to break through and understand exactly what his role is, what we need from him. He was brilliant again tonight. I also just want to point out, Kyle and Loon, we're so lucky to have those guys on the team. They're the most professional guys you could ask for as a coach, as a teammate. And, they're the odd men out right now. And the only way it works in the NBA is if the guys who are not playing are supportive of the other guys and aware of what's happening and accepting of it without being happy about it, but being great teammates. And those guys are amazing. We're lucky to have them, and they're helping everybody else right now and staying ready for when their time comes, which it's going to happen. They get in for the last 7 minutes. They're clearly the 2 best players on the floor. No pouting. They just go out there and compete. That means a lot to a team, and so we're lucky to have those guys.
There was talk, from you about wanting to kind of trim to a sharper rotation for a while. You obviously, as you're mentioning, have done it now. Was there a moment, a point, maybe a post game that you decided it had to be now? We were trying to get to it, but we had a lot of absences, injuries, illness, whatever, and then there were a lot of game situations that didn't allow for it for whatever reason. So I do think it's been a concerted effort, the last 4 games, and the indicator really is Loon and Kyle. I think they were DNP the last 3 games, if I'm not mistaken, at least 2. We're really trying to get to a set rotation. If everybody's healthy, then it's still tricky because we got BP and Gary coming back, and we got a really deep roster and a lot of guys who can play. We also have talked about our shooting and the need to get more shooting on the floor. Great to see Moses the last couple of games knocking down shots. Lindy as well. So it's not easy. And I'd love to stick with one rotation, but as soon as we're down 10 in the 3rd quarter and we need someone, I'm going to put that guy in. It's just it's a hard balance to find.
This was your boy DFlow, and I'll see you next video.